especially with all the new rules that my dean had in place, there was definitely a lot of rules that he had the ability to enforce, and he was always screaming at someone for something stupid. And we were getting towards the end of the school year, and basically people had it up to here with him. Like, nobody wanted to hang out with this guy anymore. He was not popular, he was not chill, he was not cool. Nobody wanted to deal with this guy's crap, and over the year he had gotten himself very, very unpopular with the student body. Like I said, yelling at everybody for everything is not a good way to make your students like you. And shockingly, when you're in charge of students, a good way to make sure that they do listen to your rules is being liked. Like, I don't know, if my dean was chill and not a giant douche, I probably would have been more lot likely to listen to the rules, or, you know, maybe not strap my backpack because, oh my god, guys, I'm in a gang, holy cow, wow, one strap equals gangbanger, but nobody liked this dude at all. And one day, I decided to stay for lunch. I didn't have lunch as a senior, but a couple of my friends were like, yo, dude, come hang out with us at lunch. And I was like, alright, fine, you know, no big deal, just go hang out, everything will be chill, and it'll be nothing. And then my lunch table was a bunch of, like, sophomores and juniors. I was just hanging out with my kids who are not kids, not my kids, that I don't have children, but, like, kids that I wouldn't be able to see next year when I went to college. There was no way that I was going to see them very often, and they were like, hey, just please hang out with us a little bit, it's almost the end of the year. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, sick, cool. So I'm at lunch with them, and I pull out my phone, and I didn't know that you weren't allowed to use your phone at lunch, because I didn't have a lunch period. I was like, well, I mean, there's no class going on, I don't understand a world where you would not be able to use your phone. And as soon as I pull it out, my friend's like, yo, put your phone away, put your phone away. And I didn't get it away in time, and obviously the dean comes up to me, he goes, is that a phone that I see? And I was like, yeah, it is. And he's like, well, you know, you're not allowed to use your phone, so you're gonna give it to me. And I was like, yeah, no, you're not taking my phone, dude. I'm sorry, I'm not even, like, in school right now, alright? So technically, I don't have to be here. I'm not gonna give you my phone, dude. Like, I'm not gonna go without my phone for the day, because when you got your phone taken, your parents had to come get it. It didn't matter if you were 18, it didn't matter if you were senior. Your mom and dad had to come down to the office and get your phone. And I'm not playing games like that. Like, I'm not having my mom come into the office to take my phone. So I tell him no. And his response is, well, you're not even allowed to be here if you don't have a lunch period, so now you're gonna get in trouble, blah, 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 come with me. And one of my friends who was a junior goes, dude, do you always have a stick up your butt? And he goes, excuse me, young man? He goes, do you always have a stick up your butt? Like, he pulled out his phone and checked the time. He didn't know, he's not here all the time. He's just trying to hang out with us before he graduates. Can you just chill? And he gets up in my friend's face and he's like, did you just tell me to chill? Do you know who I am, young man? I am your dean. You have no right to speak to me this way. My friend's like, dude, no one cares. Please, just go away. Like, no one likes you at this school. Everyone hates you. And I guess at this point, you know, the guy had known that everybody hates him because he immediately starts getting very, very, very angry. How dare you disrespect me? Do you have any idea I could make your life a living hell, young man? Do you have any idea who you're speaking to? And my friend's like, yeah, I do. You're just being like, stop. Just go away. No one's bothering you. You're looking for problems. Stop. And of course, the dean's like, I'm not looking for problems. If problems present themselves, and it's my job to solve them, blah, 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 blah. And they're going back and forth. Basically, my friend's like, you're just a douche. No one likes you. And the dean is like, everyone likes me, which is just untrue. No one likes this guy. Absolutely nobody is sitting here enjoying this man's presence. Not to mention, his breath smelled like beef jerky and corn nuts, which is just gross, alright? If you're gonna be a dean of a school, at least brush your teeth. Show us some good dental hygiene, man. I don't know why your teeth are so yellow they look like, I mean, when he smiled, cars slowed down. I'm not even kidding you. That's how yellow this man's teeth were. So they're going back and forth, and my friend basically boils over to the point and just says F off, but he didn't say F. I know Susan is watching this, alright? Susan, I didn't say the naughty word. Please give me my money. My kids are starving, alright? I have to feed my children. And you constantly coming in and being like, no saying naughty words. I get it. It's your platform. I gotta be advertiser friendly. Please, Susan, give me my 5 Mexican pesos I get per video. Please do not take this away. I didn't say the naughty word. Susan, I'm begging you. But regardless, he tells him to F off, and at this point, the dean has had enough, and he goes, young man, you have 30 seconds to apologize to me, otherwise there's going to be consequences. And he said, oh no, what are you going to do? Take my phone? And at that point, the dean's eyes kind of glaze over, like it's almost like when a shark is going to bite the leg of the seal off, alright? Next thing I know, the dean has cocked back his fist and has hit my friend in the face. That is right, this grown man, yellow teeth looking dude, has punched my friend, who is like 15, in the face, and the entire lunchroom goes silent. Like, everybody is just kind of shocked. This shocked silence of, oh my god, I don't know what just happened, that's crazy. And the dean immediately starts going, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry not to tell anyone about this, I'm so sorry. And the kid is just like, smiling, because he knows that this guy is in trouble and has to do whatever he asks. And the kid is just like, no, yeah, dude, you literally just hit a student. Do you not see the problem with that? You just hit a student. He's like, I'm so sorry, please do not report this to the principal. Like, we can settle this, we can solve it. It's too late. The entire lunchroom has seen it, and if you think the entire lunchroom is going to let douche canoe Daniel walk away scot-free, it is not going to happen. This is just not a feasibility. Immediately, Twitter at our school is blowing up with the fact that this kid just got hit by the dean. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's shocked. The dean is like looking scared because he knows this is not going to end well. People are tweeting news stations that a dean has hit a student in our area. If you know what school I went to, you can probably look it up. You can probably find it. I'm not going to tell you guys what school I went to because I live near it. And the last thing I need is some of you guys walking up to my house being like, yo, Scrubby, what up? You trying to play Fortnite, bro? I brought my PS4. Can I spend the night? But regardless, yeah, this is the situation we're in. It is no bueno. No, CC. No. And I mean, honestly, listen, I've been really mad at people before, but never once has a 4-year-old annoyed me to the point where I'm like, I'm going to punch you in the face. Like, that's just not a thing that's going to happen to me, especially when he's just pointing out the truth. Like, he's like, no one likes you, your rules are stupid, no one respects you, which, I mean, is rude. Yes, it would make me mad, but it's true. And that's why I think it pissed him off so much, is the truth is the most annoying thing to hear when you don't like the truth. Like, for example, if someone's like, oh, Scrubby, you're kind of annoying, I'd be like, dude, that would hurt my feelings. It's too stop, take it back. Like, I'm not gonna vibe with it, but whatever. The dean actually just punched this kid in the face. No bueno. WWE SmackDown, John Cena. The only thing it is that instead of saying you can't see me as a literal thing, you know, you're not gonna see him next year because he's going to get fired for punching a student in the face. So regardless, obviously the dean gets in a massive amount of trouble because surprisingly, schools are not cool with you hitting a student, no matter what they say. Like, even if they make fun of you, it is just not cool to hit students, especially when they're in front of hundreds of other students that all talk about it and have, like, basically eyewitness accounts of you swinging on the student. Regardless, he definitely got fired. I mean, I haven't seen him around ever since. I don't go to the school anymore, so I don't know when I would have seen him, but everybody told me he doesn't work there anymore, and I wouldn't be surprised. I would be shocked if that guy kept working with students after punching one because they disrespected him. That's not cool. Not to mention, like, I'm sorry, if you're going to be the dean of a high school, you just got to understand, some kids are going to disrespect you. It's a fact of life. Surprisingly, teenagers don't do well with authority, so if you're not down to get disrespected sometimes as the dean of a school, you're going to have a really bad time because teenagers are just like, we don't like authority, alright? When I was a teenager, I didn't like being told what to do. I still don't like being told what to do. So the fact that you're shocked that telling kids what to do is not, you know, the most respected field in the world by the people you're telling what to do is shocking to me, alright? Regardless, hey, my friend actually ended up getting a pretty fat settlement from the school district, I'm not gonna lie, because him and his parents sued because he got punched in the face by a school employee during school hours, which is not the best look for the school district, you know? Definitely not the best, and to keep it hush-hush, they ended up settling it on the side because he was going to sue for the damages. And say what you will about that, if you don't like it, if you do like it, whatever, but if a dean punched me in the face, you know, I'd be trying to get that scholarship money too, you know? Anyways, guys, moral of the story is be respectful of people who respect you. Like, this idea that you have to respect everybody because, you know, they're older than you or whatever. People are going to be rude to you and disrespect you. I don't know, in my personal opinion, you don't have to respect them back. Obviously, teachers have a hard job, but if a teacher's going to go out of their way to try to ruin your life and try to make you miserable just because they can, don't punch them in the face, obviously. But I don't know, you don't need to suck up to them either, but that's just my opinion, guys. Take it with a grain of salt. On that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button, comment down below. It helps the video do better, and I'm not going to lie, I really like views. Views are my favorite. You want to know why views are my favorite? It's simple. Susan loves comments. You know, I like when my videos do good. A quick little thing, guys, if you want to play Fortnite with me, my name is in the upper left. I don't play a ton, but, you know, if I ever am on, you're more than welcome to hop in and we can try to get a game together. But seriously, I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for being the most supportive fan base I've ever seen. If you are new, smash that subscribe button. I upload stories like this every single day, and I would really appreciate your support. Watch all my old videos. I've got a ton. We're nearing on like 150 of them, alright? I've been on that grind, that YouTube grind, that Chronicle, Bonicle, Bionicle. I really liked Bionicles. I ever wonder what happened to them. Grind. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's your boy Scrub, and I'm out. That is a Gucci gang. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video, feeling fresh and lackadaisical as always. Hope y'all are having a beautiful day. If you are, be sure to press that like button. Let me know what's going on. What'd you have for lunch? Leave what you had for lunch in the comments down below. You know, I'm feeling curious. As you can tell, I'm a little bit hungry as I'm recording this. Today we're going to be talking about the time a kid in my class wanted to fight the teacher, you know? Not that big of a deal, just throwing fisticuffs with Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. The usual. It's a pretty funny story, so buckle your seatbelt, get ready for a wild ride, and yeah, let's get into this, guys. So when I was a freshman in high school, I had this teacher named, I'm going to change his name for the purpose of the video, but I'm going to name him Mr. Ballista. Mr. Ballista, you know, an old school Call of Duty sniper rifle. That's what he was named after, you know? And Mr. Ballista was a pretty hard guy. He was near retirement. I'm pretty sure he was a veteran of, like, every single war ever, you know? He was a really old dude, and it was his last few years teaching, which meant he really didn't care. Because as a teacher, retirement's pretty secure, and you can pretty much do whatever you want once you have tenure, and especially since you're going to retire in a year or two, the school won't really fire you or do anything. So he just had the ability to not care about anything. Like, if you were sassy to him, if you were rude to him, he didn't care, because what did he have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Nothing was going to happen. And he made that very clear on the first day of school when somebody was on their phone, and he just took their phone, threw it across the room, and told them to go get it. I mean, at least to me, somebody who usually does goof around, it was pretty obvious that this guy did not care and would do absolutely anything to keep his classroom under control. So it was better to just stay out of his way, alright? You know, it's like jumping in front of a freight train. Yeah, you can, but the freight train is still going to run you over, and you're going to look like a pancake, so maybe just don't do it. At least that's how I saw it. But I guess some people saw it as a challenge, you know, to like try to challenge the old dude who clearly had no reason to be nice to you, which to me is just dumb. But whatever, kids thought it was really cool to try to get under his skin and see how big of a reaction they could get. And as I mentioned, he didn't care. But in my class, we had a lot of bad actors that really just enjoyed being in trouble for some reason. I don't know about you, but I hated being in trouble in school, okay? I was in trouble a lot because I'm just a bad kid, or I was a bad kid, but I hated being in trouble at school because it was so awkward. You had to go sit in a cold office, your nipples would be hard enough to cut diamonds because it's so cold in there. Not fun. Not a fun experience. But I guess some kids were weirdly into it. And one of these kids, who I'm going to call Hokage, because he is the next Hokage, he was a weeaboo, that's all you need to know, decided that it was his mission in life to try to get Mr. Ballista to freak out and have a panic attack and just absolutely go off on him. Why that was his goal, I have no idea, but that was the plan. He was talking every day about how he had a new way to make him mad and all this stuff, and he was a bad guy. Just to clarify, me and Mr. Hokage, or the kid Hokage, did not get along. I really did not like him, mainly because he was just a bad person. And not a bad person in the, oh, you're a teenager and you make mistakes kind of way, but in the type of way where you just knew this kid was going to end up in prison 3 years after high school. This kid was constantly just stealing things and getting in fights and, like, biting people, you know, when a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, I don't know how old he is, I don't really care, is biting people, you probably got some messed up issues. Yeah, and this kid was one of those people. So whenever he was flexing about the fact that he was going to make the teacher mad at him, I would just kind of roll my eyes and be like, yeah, I would be mad too. I mean, your parents are disappointed in you. I don't know why a teacher wouldn't be either. But whatever, this was Hokage's new life mission to piss off Mr. Ballista and make him freak out. So in order to do this, Hokage starts digging into Mr. Ballista's personal life. And this is just a no-no. Never dig into somebody's personal life, okay? It's personal for a reason. You don't need to know your teacher's favorite flavor of coffee in order to understand that they're teaching you history, alright? It's just not necessary. But whatever, he just was really into learning everything he could about Mr. Ballista in order to get under his skin better. And something he found out was that Mr. Ballista's wife had cancer. And listen, I got along pretty well with Mr. Ballista. I really appreciate people who are straight up and honest and strict, and he was really forward about the rules. He was really honest about what you can do to stay out of trouble, so I had no problem staying out of trouble in his class. But Hokage just wouldn't listen, and when he found out that his wife had cancer, he proceeded to tell the entire class about it. Which is just not cool. You don't need to do that. Like, clearly Mr. Ballista is struggling with some issues over here, and you broadcasting it to the class with a megaphone being like, by the way, his wife has cancer, just makes you look like a horrible person. So of course, Mr. Ballista gets mad at this and basically tells him to go to the dean's office and reports him to the dean and goes, look, he's telling kids in my class that my wife has cancer. I don't need to deal with this. I come to school to not have to think about it, and now everyone's talking about it. Everyone's being nice to me. He's like, I don't want pity. I don't want sympathy. I just want to teach my class. I don't want this kid going around telling people my personal business. I just don't. That's not what I want. Fair enough, Mr. Ballista. I don't blame you, man. Hokage is a bit of a tool for leaking the fact that your wife has cancer to the class. So the next few weeks go pretty normally. Everything kind of calms down. You can tell Mr. Ballista has a strong hatred for Hokage. But not much he can really do. The school has denied his request to get him moved out of the class, which is just dumb. If you have a kid basically doxing the teacher and leaking personal information, it's probably a good idea to just put him in a new class. Make sure they don't get along. And, you know, especially with a teacher like Mr. Ballista, who does not care and has nothing to lose at this point, it's a really good idea to make sure that these two people stay apart. And then, the moment you've all been waiting for. One day, we're sitting in class. I don't remember what we're learning about, but I guess Hokage just wasn't having it. He goes, when are we going to use this in real life? Which was just, I get the question, I understand the premise, but the way he said it is what was rude. And Mr. Ballista Ballista goes, well, to be honest, you'll probably never use it in your life because you're going to end up working at McDonald's, which is pretty savage and true. I don't know where Hokage is, probably in prison or at a McDonald's, one of the two. And I guess this really set Hokage off because the entire class laughed. Because how are you not going to laugh at a teacher just roasting this kid who's clearly not a good person in front of everybody? It's just a funny experience to watch, right? And I guess this set Hokage off in a way that he had never been set off before because he looks Mr. Ballista in the eye and says, well, at least my wife doesn't have cancer. And I do not understand how you can say that to another human being. Like, imagine finding out that somebody's wife has a disease that kills millions of people every year and then using it in an argument when he says you're gonna work at McDonald's. You're gonna work at McDonald's. Yeah, well, at least my mom's not in a wheelchair. Like, that's the level of terrible person we are reaching here. You just shouldn't be able to say that to another human being unless you're actually a sociopath like a Shane Dawson documentary, right? And the entire class just opens their jaws and it's just silent. You know the type of silence where you can cut the silence with a knife because it's so thick and everybody is just sitting there like, oh my god, he actually just said that. I cannot believe that these words actually came out of another human being's mouth. Yeah, that's the reaction that all of us had because we just witnessed Mr. Potato Head, Hokage over here, tell a teacher that at least my wife doesn't have cancer. And I'm just sitting here flabbergasted, waiting for the response that I'm assuming is going to be pure rage and a death thrown through this kid's skull. And Mr. Ballista furrows his brow and goes, what did you just say? And he goes, at least my wife doesn't have cancer. And at this moment, I'm getting ready to have to hold back Mr. Ballista because I'd want to kill this kid if I was in his position. And he looks at him and he goes, son, you are by far the most disrespectful degenerate I have ever had in my classroom, and I feel bad for the fact that the only way you're ever going to see anyone who loves you is behind prison bars. And turns back around. I don't know how the stoic Mr. Ballista handled this situation like a god, but here we are, no fisticuffs being thrown, and he just blasted the kid even harder. You know when, like, you're trying to make someone mad, and you're trying to, get under their skin, and they kind of hit you with the, sorry, you're kind of pathetic, I'm not going to fall for it, and your ego is just crushed? That's the situation we have here. Except Hokage isn't going to take no for an answer, because now he looks like an absolute jerk for no reason in front of the entire class, and he can't have that. So he goes, oh yeah, you old man, you won't fight me, blah, 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 blah. And Mr. Ballista goes, you're right, I'm not going to fight you because you're pathetic. You're a pathetic child. You're a pathetic child, and I'm sorry that your parents don't give you enough attention at home. And the entire class at this point is like, oh my god, he's actually flaming this kid. Like, imagine you're trying to be a savage, getting a guy to fight you, making fun of his wife having cancer, and all he's doing is calling you pathetic? That's gotta hurt the ego, folks. This is what's gonna annoy this kid. And plus, Hokage's one of these kids that thrives off attention. So the fact that he's getting none of it, all he's getting is roasted and being made fun of in front of everybody, is just driving him up the wall. So he gets up in Mr. Ballista's face and goes, yeah, well, give me one reason I shouldn't knock you out right now. And Mr. Ballista goes, because you can't. And he pulls back to hit the teacher, and at this point, like, 5 guys are getting up to go pull him apart. And he swings at the teacher. Mr. Ballista somehow moves out of the way of the punch and goes, and you just got yourself expelled, buddy. And everybody, like, grabs Hokage, pulls him out of the class towards the office. We get him into the dean's office, tell him everything that happened. They actually call the school police because it was technically, like, assault. I don't understand what happened there because he didn't hit him. But the school police get involved. They're basically, like, taking this kid to juvie for trying to assault a teacher. And Mr. Ballista, during this whole situation, cool as a cucumber. You could tell the cancer comments did bother him, but, I mean, who wouldn't be bothered by that? Like, what a terrible kid for making fun of that. So, yeah, Hokage got expelled for trying to assault the teacher, and I really hope he's in prison somewhere, because anybody willing to make fun of a wife having cancer isn't a really good person. Just throwing that out there. Definitely not the best type. You know, whatever. I'm not saying you can never make a cancer joke, because sometimes they can be pretty funny, but you don't look someone in the eyes whose wife has cancer and make fun of the fact that their wife has cancer. That's how you know you're just an absolutely terrible human being. And I really am glad he got expelled. Karma did its job. That's the key here. I'm really thankful that Karma came in, punched this kid in the throat, and they gave him what he just deserved. You know, it was just desserts. On that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. If you liked the video, if you didn't like the video, I'd love to hear what you think. I know this was a pretty long story. I just remember it really, really vividly because it's one of the worst things I think I've ever seen a human being do to another human being. So it's just kind of lodged in my memory like a pitchfork lodged into the side of the frontal lobe of an Amish boy in a farming accident. And yeah, on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter @ScrumpyVivo, Instagram @Scrumpy_YT. Buy some merch if you haven't already because that's pretty cool. And remember, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. One more thing, by the way, I was just really close to 10 minutes, to be honest. What's going on, guys? Dyslexic Doodlebob here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an incredible day. If you are, press the like button. Okay, our likes are down. I don't know what's going on with you guys, if your thumbs are broken, if all of you got in an unfortunate Chinese finger trap accident where you were sitting there trying desperately to get out of that little paper mache trap, only to watch your thumbs snap in half and now you can't press buttons. But you guys need to press that button, okay? Because if you don't, I'm not even kidding, my kids are going to starve. Cyrus is right here. Cyrus, what happens if they don't press the like button?
We'll fucking starve, dude.
Today I'm going to be telling you guys the story of a time a wannabe gangster really pulled up to class on some Chief Keef, I don't like, and then got roasted by my teacher. You know, my teachers in my school were really hit or miss. I either loved them and got along with them really well, or they were the type of teachers that made me want to watch Caillou for 47 hours straight with toothpicks holding open my eyes so I'm being brainwashed by a bald child on PBS. And you know, this experience is no exception. This was one of my favorite teachers. He was just an old man. I've already talked about him once or twice. He was a really chill dude, just an old math teacher who had no cares in the world. He was retiring and just really was just not pressed about anything ever. Was really the type of teacher to just like swear at kids because he's like, oh well, I'm retiring, what are they gonna do, fire me? Dang, I'll get to retire 3 months early. He was not pressed about anything going on in his classroom ever. So there was this one kid in this class who just thought he was a gangster, you know the kid that like grew up and was like, oh man, I'm from the hood, when in reality his dad was like a banker or a real estate agent who did nothing but buy them really nice things, and somehow this kid still thought he had it bad. Like Eminem would talk about how hard it was growing up on the streets. He'd be like, yeah man, my parents bought me a bike that was 2 years old. What am I supposed to do, look like a poor kid? There was plenty of those kids at my school. My school was a pretty bougie area, so there was not really, the type of kids that actually had a rough childhood, like everybody really had it easy. And like, I know what you're thinking, well, some people can have it hard. But, like I said, we had all gone to elementary school and stuff together, so we all knew everyone's parents. And there was this kid who just thought he was a gangster, even though his dad was literally, like, the real estate agent who sold everyone in town their houses. Like, this kid did not have a rough childhood. And just to paint you a picture, he got dropped off at school by his stay-at-home mom in a Bentley every morning. Like, this kid was not living the rough life, but for some reason he watched 8 Mile and decided to pretend to be Eminem growing up in a shack, like he had never ever had anything but dino chicken nuggets and mac and cheese for dinner, which isn't even that bad of a life. Like, let's be honest, if my mom wanted to make me nothing but mac and cheese and chicken nuggets for the rest of my life, I'd honestly be kind of stoked. Like, I don't know, that sounds like a pretty lit life. But anyways, this kid, who I'm gonna call Brian for the story, was just convinced that his life was hard, and he started acting out a lot in high school too. Like, his parents were super affluent, driving Bentleys and stuff. Our school was bougie, but he was convinced he had a rough childhood and acted like it. Like, he would get in fights all the time and just start fights with people for like no reason, Like, you'd be standing in lunch line trying to get some good dino chicken nuggets, and Brian would be like, yo bro, you staring at me funny, you trying to fight? You'd be like, no, I wasn't staring at you, I was staring at those chicken nuggets. Do you see how delectable those little tenders are? I want some nuggets in my mouth right now. That's what she said, but not really, because Brian wasn't a she. Well, he might be now. I haven't talked to him. And like, you know what? If he did switch up, then like, that's fine. I understand. No hard feelings. Like, good for you, man. Be who you are. Be who you want to be. That's the only advice that matters in life. But regardless, this kid was just always acting out. And my math teacher was about to retire and was having none of it. This kid was just constantly acting out. Let's get into this, guys. So when I was a freshman in high school, I had this teacher named, I'm going to change his name for the purpose of the video, but I'm going to name him Mr. Ballista. Mr. Ballista, an old school Call of Duty sniper rifle. That's what he was named after, And Mr. Ballista was a pretty hard guy. He was near retirement. I'm pretty sure he was a veteran of, like, every single war ever, He was a really old dude. And it was his last few years teaching, which meant he really didn't care. Because as a teacher, your retirement's pretty secure. You can pretty much do whatever you want once you have tenure, especially since you're going to retire. Is the supposed to just took their phone, threw it across the room, and told them to go get it. I mean, at least to me, somebody who usually does goof around, it was pretty obvious that this guy did not care and would do absolutely anything to keep his classroom under control. So it was better to just stay out of his way, all right? You know, it's like jumping in front of a freight train. Yeah, you can, but the freight train is still going to run you over, and you're going to look like a pancake. So maybe just don't do it. At least that's how I saw it. But I guess some people saw it as a challenge, you know, to like try to challenge the old dude who clearly had no reason to be nice to you, which to me is just dumb. But whatever, kids thought it was really cool and tried to get a reaction they could get. And as I mentioned, he didn't care. But in my class, we had a lot of bad actors that really just enjoyed being in trouble for some reason. I don't know about you, but I hated being in trouble in school, okay? I was in trouble a lot because I'm just a bad kid, or I was a bad kid, but I hated being in trouble in school because it was so awkward. You had to go sit in the cold office. Your nipples would be hard enough to cut diamonds because it's so cold in there. Not fun. Not a fun experience. But I guess some kids were weirdly into it. And one of these kids, who I'm going to call Hokage because he is the next Hokage, he was a weeaboo, that's all you need to know, decided that it was his mission in life to try to get Mr. Ballista to freak out and have a panic attack and just absolutely go off on him. Why that was his goal, I have no idea, but that was the plan. He was talking every day about how he had a new way to make him mad and all this stuff, and he was a bad guy. Just to clarify, me and Mr. Hokage, or the kid Hokage, did not get along. I really, really did not like this kid, mainly because he was just a bad person. And not a bad person in the, oh, you're a teenager and you make mistakes kind of way, but in the type of way where you just knew this kid was going to end up in prison 3 years after high school. This kid was constantly just stealing things and getting in fights and, like, fighting people, you know, when a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, I don't know how old he is, I don't know. Fighting people, you probably got some... What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. If you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. The invisible hamster sitting next to you will get squished by a 10-pound weight. Yeah, don't mess with me, okay? It's not a joke. This is not a joke. There is an invisible hamster next to you that will be squished if you don't press the like button. Anyways, I think everybody's had a substitute teacher that for some reason thinks they're actually in charge of the class, alright? Like, your teacher's sick and they walk in and they slap something on the desk and they go, "Now listen, children, today we're gonna learn, and we're gonna learn good. And even though I'm not your teacher, today we're gonna write the best essay you've ever had." And you're like, "Ma'am, this is a Wendy's drive-thru, please back away slowly." And, you know, substitute teachers definitely don't get tons of respect in school, and sometimes that sucks because they are chill people just trying to do their job and go home. But I think everybody's had at least one sub for some reason who actually feels like it's their job to, you know, continue actually teaching you. And today I'm going to be telling you guys about a crazy substitute teacher I had one time. I am going to warn you guys that this does get a little funny at some parts, so if you're not ready to giggle, then click off the video. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So I had this teacher who I'm going to name Mr. Kevin, and Mr. Kevin was a pretty okay teacher, alright? Don't get me wrong, he wasn't fantastic. Like, if I had a survey for him at the end of the year, I would not be writing "remarkable teacher, would recommend" for literally any subject underneath, but I also wouldn't be mad either. Like, Mr. Kevin was the most mad teacher of all time. I think his class was the perfect description out of a 5 out of 10 on the happiness scale. Like, if I had to describe dead average to people, I would use Mr. Kevin's teaching style. So, whenever he was gone, people didn't really care, but whenever he was there, people didn't really care either. So out of all the classes you could get a substitute in, that was probably one of the worst ones, you know, because for the most part, you didn't really mind having him as a teacher. Substitutes are always great when you walk into your one teacher that slightly reminds you of Joseph Stalin, and you're like, "Oh, she's not here today, thank God," and you feel relieved when you don't see her. But when your teacher, you know, really doesn't bug you much, it's not as great to see a substitute. So one day, I walk into Mr. Kevin's class, and standing there is a substitute teacher who I've never seen before. I think most of you know that, like, most subs kind of have a reputation. Everybody knows that there's, like, the fun sub that kind of lets you do it. Is the strict sub, but I had never seen this woman before. The only thing I can describe that she looked like is, you know, I don't know how to describe it. Imagine Paula Deen if Paula Deen was younger and had red hair. Like, that's really what this girl looked like. And when I walked in, she looked so much like Paula Deen that I expected her to start shoving sticks of butter down my throat and just trying to get me to eat as much butter as humanly possible. But that's kind of off topic. So whatever. I walk in and I see Paula Deen as a sub, and the rest of the class is kind of sitting there not really knowing what to think, because if you are a substitute teacher, everyone's sizing you up every step of the way. Like, everybody's kind of seeing how far they can get away with things, because most subs are pretty easy to get away with, and it's really not that big of a deal. So Well, we're kind of just sitting there waiting for her to start talking, see what's going on. So the bell rings for class to start, and everybody's finally in class. Except for one of my friends who I'm going to name Marcel. And Marcel walks in maybe 15 seconds after the bell rings. Not enough for it to be noticeably late and cause a problem. And he walks in and he goes to sit down. And our substitute teacher looks at him and goes, "Excuse me, who do you think you are?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, sorry. I was talking to my teacher from my old class. I'm sorry I'm a couple seconds late." And sets his backpack down. She's like, "Did I tell you that you may enter the classroom?" And he's kind of like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, you're late, and I think if you're late, you have to ask permission to enter the classroom. No? Who do you think you are to come in here and just act like you own the place walking in late? Do you have any idea that all these other students were on time? Do you know what it's like for other students to be on time, and you think you can just walk all over the place?" And the rest of the class is kind of like, Marcel can be 15 seconds late. I promise I don't feel disrespected at all. Like, realistically, I'm sorry. I don't feel disrespected if another student is late. I don't care. If anything, hey, yo, bro, get your bag. Like, be late. That's fine. Do your thing, Marcel. If you need to go in the hallway and pee, that's fine. I don't care. You can be late. It's not going to sweat me at all. But she was trying to, like, turn us on Marcel for him being literally 15 seconds. Marcel's got